All right, so now that the game has been out for like 3 weeks and people have made hundreds of builds, and I have uploaded absolutely nothing except for one farming guide using a pipe bomb that has now been patched, I think it's about time we make some actual YouTube content. So hello everybody and welcome to another Borderlands 3 video, and today we're going to be going over my Moze build. If you've been watching me on Twitch, you know that I'm pretty fond of Moze, and I've been playing her a whole lot. I'll be naming this God Queen Moze because, well, you are pretty much the ruler of everything. Nothing can stop you. There is no enemy in this game or any mayhem modifier that can slow you down. You can take on everything. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the build, and then we'll get into some gameplay and show off some various things. In the background, you'll probably notice some gameplay of one of the Circles of Slaughter. It's one of the harder ones. At the beginning, I actually do show the mayhem modifiers that we get, because I try and making a video and showing off the best mayhem modifiers doesn't really do this build justice, because you're just going to be one-shotting everything. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into the video. So the very first 5 points are going to go into Cloud of Lead. This is going to make it so that way every 4 shot doesn't consume ammo, and you get a bonus to incendiary damage. Now, in addition to that, we're going to go ahead and go into Stoke the Embers. This is going to increase the amount of incendiary damage that you end up dealing. Then we're going to put a point into Redistribution, and then we're going to go ahead and put a point into Scrappy. Now, the reason we put a point into Scrappy is because we need to put a point somewhere, and it's completely useless going into match set, so we might as well throw it into here for a little bit of extra weapon swap speed. And Daka Bear is actually probably the worst skill I've ever seen in my life. Now, after that, you're going to go ahead and put a point into Russian Offensive. Now, the reason for that is that way you can shoot while you sprint at the same time. Now, you are going to be throwing grenades a lot with this build, so you will not be able to sprint and throw grenades at the same time. But whenever you're running around shooting your flacker, you will be able to shoot your flak and actually move away from it. So that is everything that you're going to put inside of the bottomless mags tree. Now, going into the next one, we're going to go into Shield of Retribution. Now we're going to put 5 points into Armored Infantry. And the reason we're going to do that instead of Selfless Vengeance is because you are never going to reload your gun. That's correct. You are never actually going to reload your gun. You have infinite ammo the entire time that you are going to be using this build. Next up, we're going to put 5 points into Drowning in Brass. This is going to give you an additional 60% damage at 3 stacks, which is going to do a lot. And then obviously experimental munitions, so that way you can do additional damage whenever you score a critical hit, which we will be doing a lot of critical hits. And then finally, the meat of the actual build, the Demolition Woman tree. Now, you're going to want to go ahead and put 5 points into Fire in the Skag Den. Now, the reason for that is that whenever you deal splash damage, you will also deal bonus incendiary damage. Now, here's the thing. This entire build is splash damage. Literally every single application of damage that you deal here is going to be splash, which is going to get the incendiary bonus, which is also going to get buffed by Stoke the Embers. So that's going to be a huge increase to your damage. Next, you're going to put 3 points into Means of Destruction, and that is going to give us our infinite ammo, because we are going to be combining it with a grenade later on. Now, we're going to completely ignore Torque Cross Promotion, because in my testing, the only thing this serves to do instead of killing more enemies is kill you. You are going to be killing yourself with rockets and flackers all the time with this skill, so don't do it. It's better to have a reasonably sized flacker shot that you know where the bullets are actually going to go, rather than you running into your accidentally double-sized flacker shot. So instead, we're going to go ahead and put 2 points into Grizzle. And now that'll get us to Pull the Holy Pin, which we're going to go ahead and put 3 points into that, which with the class mod that I have gives me a 60% chance to crit with a grenade, which is a ridiculous crit chance, and it can hit anywhere on the body. It doesn't have to hit an actual crit spot. As long as it deals damage, it has a chance to crit. Then we're going to go ahead and put 1 point into Auto Bear, so that way Auto Bear actually sits around. And we're going to go ahead and put 1 more point into Grizzled. That's going to get us down to the next tier here. And we're going to put 5 points into Vampire, which is going to be all of the life leech that we could ever want. Now, as far as Iron Bear is concerned, you're never actually going to use Iron Bear. In its current state, Iron Bear is completely terrible and does not work in Mayhem 3. Hell, it barely works on Mayhem 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it 2 Vanquisher rocket pods, and we're going to give it 2 target softenings. So that way, whenever it hits an enemy, that enemy will take more damage. So we jump in our mech, jump out, let Auto Bear shoot rockets at stuff, and they take more damage. That is Iron Bear's only purpose, sadly. Hopefully, it gets a little bit of a buff. Next thing we're going to do is put a point into To the Last, which is going to give you the ability to spam grenades while you are in Fight for Your Life, which if there are any enemies around you, this will allow you to get a second wind with this current build. Now we're going to go ahead and put 2 more points into Grizzled to get us further to the short fuse skill. Then we're going to put 2 more points into Why Can't I Carry All These Grenades. Honestly, these 2 points you can throw literally anywhere, but like we said, we're not going to use Torque Cross Promotion. There's no reason to use Deadlines because we're never going to actually use Iron Bear. Stainless, Steel Bear doesn't do anything because, again, not using Iron Bear. And Explosive Percussion doesn't do anything because we're not using Iron Bear. So anyway, put a point into Short Fuse, and that is going to make it so that way whenever you deal gun damage, there's a chance for a secondary explosion that is centered on the target, which deals damage. Now here's the thing, that entire secondary attack is an explosion, which is Splash, which is going to get this buff, which is going to give you Stoke the Embers, which can also proc Means of Destruction. Now let's talk about the actual items that we're going to be using on this character. Now, I have a variety of guns. I actually had more, but then I had the bank glitch, as you may know about by this point, that kind of kills your inventory. But anyway, let's go over the actual build here. So the main item is going to be the Flacker. Pretty much any Flacker will end up working, but you want as high of a base damage as you can get with a Flacker. I've managed a 1365. It can go up to 1503 times 3. You want a non-elemental Flacker, and you want to have a bonus on action skill end. The next 2 magazines will have additional X damage. It could be shock, it could be corrosive, it could be whatever. Either way, you just want additional damage. Now, the reason you want this is because of the fact that Moze never has to reload her gun. She will always have this bonus. This pretty much says on action skill end, deal 50% more damage forever. And yeah, that's amazing. No, sadly, it does not stack, so you can't just keep stacking it over and over and over and over again. That would be OP as fuck, but that's how it works. Anyway, we also have the Lyuda here. We managed a 949 times 2. This one's all right, but we don't really use it all that much. I do use the Ferocious Ogre here, 436 times 2. This is more for just general mobbing, where you don't want to have to really pay too much attention about stuff. And then finally, we have the Potent Quickie, which is 5,137 times 2, and it has the anointment of dealing additional incendiary damage while Auto Bear is active. Now, we haven't gotten an amazing anointment on it, but that's because the rocket launcher itself is probably the best rocket launcher that I could have ever asked for. This is probably a god roll rocket launcher, if I had to guess. And you'll actually see in the background here, this thing completely destroys Grave Ward. It's not even funny how much damage it does to it. So that's our weapons. But what about the gear? All right, so the gear, we're going to be using the Transformer. Now, this one is anointed, which on action skill end, skill cooldown rates reduced by 20%. That's really not necessary at all. The anointments on shields are really not that important. But all Transformers are static, which means if you find a Transformer, then you have it pretty much straight up. We also have the Sanctified Baddie Blastmaster, which is going to give us +3 into crit, +2 into Vampire. And it also has the additional effects. Extra weapon handling, which is going to reduce the recoil. Splash damage, which every single point of damage is splash. And then weapon damage to help with our Flacker. Now, this class mod has a very special effect to it. The longer you go without reloading, the more splash damage that you will deal, up to 100% splash damage. Again, this entire build is splash. So pretty much, if you don't reload, which you never will, you will deal double damage. So as you can see, Moze does a lot of things, and it's all stacking up to do even more and more damage because every splash deals incendiary, yada, yada, yada. Now for our Relic, this one took a little bit of grinding, but I managed to get a Snowdrift static charge, which makes it so that way when I slide, I go a lot faster. And it's got bonus 30% grenade damage and 33% area of effect damage. Now, area of effect damage is anything that can deal damage without actually direct impacting, which, again, you guessed it, is everything in this build. So we managed to get a God Roll Relic, and it allows me to slide around super fast, which is kind of nice. The final thing of this entire build is the reoccurring Hex. Now, there are a couple of variants here. There's the Merv-tacular Hex, there's the reoccurring Hex, there's the cloning Hex. It's a lot of different hexes. Ideally, you want as many grenades in the air as possible. A Merv-tacular will give you 1 grenade that splits into 6, and a reoccurring grenade will give you 2 grenades that spawn into 3. There are various different ones. There's 3 that will split into 2 each. There's 2 to split into 3. There's 1 to split into 6. Either way, 6 is the most grenades that you're going to be able to get out of a single grenade throw. Now, where do you find all of these items? All right, so listen carefully. This is where you can find everything. Lyuda. It's a world drop. I know, that really sucks, doesn't it? But actually, If you do all of Zero's targets of opportunity, he will actually send you a Lyuda in the mail. Now, if you want, make a backup of a save file right before you do the last target of opportunity, and you will actually be able to farm for a Lyuda. Cool. The Flacker, sadly, is actually a world drop. You will not be able to farm for it anywhere in particular as of now. If this gets updated, I will let you all know. The Potent Quickie is actually just a regular-ass rocket launcher. It doesn't come from anywhere specific. It's just a regular purple Torgue rocket launcher. So you guessed it. It's a world drop. And the Ogre. Can you guess where it comes from? Yep, it's a world drop. Now, I know that's all dark and depressing, but what about the Relic? It's a world drop. Yep. Everything is a world drop, but that's okay. I can help you find the hex. It's a world drop. I know! Crazy, right? Crazy! Now we're getting down to the last item here, the Transformer. Where's that come from? Well, for once, it's not a world drop. In fact, it has a 100% chance drop from a quest on Necrodefeo called It's Alive. So if you want to get the Transformer, that's where you can find it. And then we also have the Betty Blastmaster, which is a legendary class mod, which as of right now, all class mods drop from Katagawa. Well, Katagawa Jr. Not the ball, the actual human. That is where you can farm it for the next like 6 days as of this video going up, as they're currently doing a promotion. Other than that, it's a world drop. Yeah, I know. It sucks, doesn't it? Literally everything is a world drop. So building this character took a very long time, as you might imagine. I wanted to get pretty much to the point to where I had all my gear and I said, yep, I'm ready. This is my build. This is my character. This is everything I want inside of a build. And yeah, so there you go. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Sorry that I haven't uploaded as many videos as I had wanted to. I just, you know, when I upload a video, I wanted to be happy with it. And now I'm happy with it. So if you want to try this Moze out for yourself, there will be a download link in the description. Feel free to download this Moze and give it a shot for yourself. Go through Mayhem 3 without a care in the world. Thank you all for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. See you all in the next one, everybody. Later.
Get good or get dead, scrub.